everybody. Let's begin a fairly quick yoga practice that'll have a little bit of spinal warming introduction. We'll get our bodies moving with a few standing pose variations, and then our fun poses are going to be belly down back bends today. So if you want to have some props available to you, please feel free to grab a blanket, grab your blocks, grab a strap. You'll see me maybe using some blocks, but that'll be about it today. So we'll keep it fairly simple, and here we go. Let's start practice coming through an all fours position and child's pose. So as you point your toes back, settle the weight of your hips onto your heels, let your spine round forward, place your arms in a place where they feel safe and where they feel supported. We'll start with our moment of centering from this position. We'll start by connecting to our body, with the breath, and with the stuff of the mind from position here. As you use this as a time for centering, check in with your body, see how it's feeling today. Check in with your energy levels. And as always, give yourself permission to challenge yourself when the opportunity arises. And likewise, be compassionate when that might serve you better. As we take a few more breaths here, start to transition into the more active parts of practice by transitioning child's pose from a moment of rest and introspection to a little bit more active hip opening, reaching the fronts of your thigh creases towards the backs of the thigh creases, nice deep folds in the front of the hip socket. Take a few breaths in and out to lengthen the spine here, inserting some air bubbles of space along the bones of the back. And then as you're ready, come on up to an all fours position. As we arrive in all fours, take your hands shoulder distance or slightly wider. Knees, hips distance or slightly wider. Toes tucked or pointed. Again, stylistic element as long as you feel long, strong, and stable. Reach your tailbone back. Reach the chest and the head forward. And then as you're ready, make the spine long and start to make a back bend, lifting your tailbone up. Moving your chest forward through your upper arm bones, lifting up through the crown of the head so the spine looks like a foot of a rocking chair. And then reverse this, drawing the front of your body towards the back of your body, stretching your shirt across your back as you reach your spine to the ceiling. Start to move like this a few times at your own pace, maybe matching the rhythm of your breath, maybe not. As you alternate from one end point to the other, also notice all of the little micro points in between that you can enjoy just as much. Keep spinal elongation. Remember that the first movement of the spine upon which all of the others depend is space and elongation from the tip of the tailbone to the top of the head. Going one more time in each direction. Balance your time from the back bend to the rounded position. And then bring yourself into a neutral spinal position here. Take your hands wider. They might even come off your sticky mat. Take your knees closer together. Point the tops of the feet back for sure on this one. And shift the weight of your hips back so that the weight's off the kneecaps and onto the shins themselves. From your heart, press down through your hands and start to sway your hips from side to side. So remember, you get to be in charge of how small or big this motion is. Right? As you reach your glutes back towards the far corners of the room behind you and you roll across the shins from one side to the other. Actively elongate the spine again here, so as your hips shift to the left, push down and away through the right arm. And as your hips shift to the right, push down and away through the left. And let's go two more times here, side to side, balancing out from left side to right side. And then as you bring yourself back to neutral position, keep your hands wide, please. And lower yourself forward and down onto your stomach. As you arrive, pick up each leg one at a time, lengthen it back, open up the hip sockets. Tap down from the thighs through the tops of the feet. Lift up through the front of your body. Reach the sternum forward, keep the hands wide so you have good wiggle room. Good room for shoulder blades on your back body. Pushing your legs down and away, then use your in-breath to pull forward and peel up, chin, throat, chest. Heart open, throat full, head high. Make yourself even longer as you reach down and forward, chest, throat, chin. Move this with your breath 4 more times. Pull forward, peel up. From the underside of the armpits, reach forward through the collarbones. Lengthen and get even longer as you come on down. Peeling, like you're slithering yourself along the floor. And then unpeel, lowering down. 2 more times, just like that, pulling forward and up. And 1 more. As you lengthen, as you lower down, draw your hands back into what's their comfortable, natural distance apart. Tuck your toes under. All right, everybody, here we go. First one, you know the drill. Hips, heart, and head at the same speed. Press up, plank position. And from here back, tuck toes, child's pose. Take a moment to arrange your spacing with your hips back, hands forward so you're maximizing the distance from your hip sockets to your armpits. Plug down through the hands. Be steady through the feet, keeping them relatively consistent and constant in place. Look forward, slide forward, plank. Bring your face out in front of your hands, and as you bend your elbows back, lower down 1 to 6 inches, pause. Reverse direction. Press back, tuck toes, child's pose. So we move our spine in all directions. Here we're trying to keep it fairly consistent. Move it forward like you're on a conveyor belt. Lower it down, hips, heart, and head, the same speed. Press straight back up. Continue this motion forward and backward, working through our sneaky or less than sneaky way to get some push-ups in this morning. All right. This is a great time to practice. Many of you tell me you hear my voice inside your head anyways, so use that voice. Take advantage of it here to move your hips, your heart, and your head at the same speed. 1 more time on the way down and on the way up. Take a moment to press back your child's pose. Take a couple breaths in and out. Raise the hips enough to put the tops of the feet down, reaching your toenails to the space behind you. Let everything get a little bit longer. And then raise your head and chest up just enough to walk yourself to one side. I'm going to walk to the right, so I'm going to crawl my left hand as far forward as I can. Plug the extended hand into the floor, then pull yourself away from it as you drape the left shoulder blade down. Lengthen for some breaths from the left pinky finger, through the wrist, elbow, armpit, through the ribs, hip socket, reaching towards the back left heel. Raise the head and the chest. Come on back up through center, second side. Take yourself over to the other side as far as you can, right? So if you were looking at your spine from the ceiling, making a side bending motion, almost like a capital letter C. Plug now, for me, the right hand into the floor, drape the right shoulder blade down the side body, and elongate through the right side. As you create your shape from the outside, expand and enhance it from the inside using nice, full, deep breaths in and deep breaths out as you hold position. Bring yourself up just enough to come back through center. Raise the hips, walk the hands forward, tuck the toes. Come on up, downward facing dog. As you take a few breaths here in your down dog position, from your heart, hit down through the palms of the hands, the thumbs and finger pads. Push down and away through the length of the arms to maximize the distance from your armpits to your hip sockets as you press your thigh bones towards the back wall behind you. Find nice solid foundation in your feet from your big toe mounds across to the pinky toe mounds, reaching your heel dots down, whether they touch or not. Make a good, energetic effort. And then raise the heels, soften the knees. Step or walk your feet forward towards your hands. Come into Uttanasana near the top edge, one of the short edges of your mat. And take a fold here, resting your hands on your shins, your feet, or the floor, wherever they're blessed to go to. In your forward folded position, balance the weight of your body from your heel dots to your toe tips, from your inner edges to your outer edges. Push down through the soles of the feet to slightly activate the fronts of the shins, the fronts of the thighs, up into the thigh creases, and press your sacrum towards the ceiling. With your sacrum high, let the spine cascade, the crown of the head drip down. Maybe take a moment to shake the head no or yes. Let a little bit of your day fall out of your neck, your head, and your face. Bringing your hands onto your hips, push from your hips down into your heels. Inhale yourself to standing. Take a breath, 2 or 3 here in Tadasana with your head above your heart above the hips, standing tall. If you'd like to use blocks for this next part, now would be the time to put one block on either side of you so that they're available to you. If not, use your body parts or the floor as you know how. Inhale, reach up. Lift the heart, lift the gaze slightly above the horizon. Soften the knees, fold as your thigh creases come on down, make contact. Half lift, present your heart to the front wall in front of you, and with your chest lifted, bend deeply into the knees, ski or squat position. Line your fingertips up with your toes. Step your right leg back. Make a straight leg lunge with your front foot flat and your front shin vertical. One hand on either side of the position. And from here now, reach your left to this front inner knee forward as far as you can to drop the back knee onto the ground. Put your shoelaces down, point your toes back, scissors your legs together, front to back and side to side, and come on up. Hands can come to hips, heart, or overhead, wherever you'd like to put them. Good thing about practicing at home, you get some of your options wherever you'd like to take them. And then bow forward. As you bow forward, place your hands on your blocks or the floor, tuck your toes, and pull your hips back. Bring your left toes with you. Back hips towards the heel. Chest and head can be up, or it can be bowed forward. Push down through your back foot and your front foot to lift up, glide forward. Root down through the front heel, flip the toes to point to the space behind you, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Flow, folding forward, tucking your back toes for a target with your hips, slide back. Move your hips towards the wall behind you, whether they touch the heel becomes less than relevant, make the good effort backwards. And then one more time, come on forward. Shoelaces down, push through the back foot, hit down through the front heel, come on up. And lowering down, all the way. Tuck your back toes, lift up your back knee. If you're gonna use blocks, bring them with you. Slither your way to the second side, pivoting on the heels, pivoting on the toes. And then as you arrive, set up your lunge, front foot flat, front shin vertical, power position. Reach what is now your front knee forward, drop the back knee down, shoelaces into place in space. Push through the back foot and the front heel for safety. Come on up. Lift up from the deep low belly. Raise the heart, extend the head. And then on your next breath, come on down, touch the floor. As you bow forward, use the rounding of the spine to help you tuck the toes under. Slide back, forward folded position. Dig the front right heel into the floor, pull the hips back. Push down through the feet to lighten the load in the knee as you come on forward. Shoelaces down, hit down through the front heel, raise up. Come on down. Now that we kind of know the drill, tuck the back toes, draw back away from the front foot. One more time each direction. Bring yourself forward. And all the way down and back. As we return to our lunging position, this time place your hands on the floor, step back to an all fours position. Tuck your toes under, come to standing on your knees. Head above heart, heart above hips, kneeling Tadasana. From your kneeling Tadasana position, sweep the hands back, moving your armpits behind you. So maybe even initiate from the shoulder blades. Draw your shoulder blades around your spine like you're forming a hollow tube. And then take the armpits from the front of the body to the back of the body. Take your arm bones from the front of your body to the back of your body. Clasp hands or hold your hips. Lift the heart up, elongate the neck. Send the gaze to a comfortable position. As we take 5 breaths, use some of your hands. Continue to clasp with your hands behind you. You can put your hands on your hips. You can lift your heart more and start to walk your hands down the backs of your thighs. Wherever you've chosen to land at this point in time, lift the heart even higher for 2 more breaths. And then from the sternum, lift yourself back up to neutral position. Come on down and forward, all fours. Slide your hands 3 or 4 more inches forward, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana and take a few breaths here. As you hold your down dog position, come into high quality connection through your hands, your index finger mounds, pinky finger mounds, thumb mounds, and the heels of the hands. From the center of your palms, activate the underside of your forearms, tone your biceps and your triceps into the base of your heart. And from the base of your heart, hit back down through your hands. Elongate, breathe those air bubbles of space along the bones of the back again, and start to reach your thigh bones more to the back wall and less towards the ceiling as you stretch the heel dots down towards the floor. Lift the heels, soften the knees, walk your feet forward towards your hands again. Come into Uttanasana, forward fold. Again, immediately balance the weight of your body from your heel dots to your toe tips, placing your hands somewhere where the weight of the upper body is supported. Encourage the low body to elongate to the rhythm of the inflows and outflows of your breath 2 or 3 more times. And then hit down through the feet, raise yourself all the way up, lift the heart, lift the gaze slightly above the horizon, keep the spine long and tall, and release just your arms to your sides, Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths in and out here. As you inhale, reach up. As you exhale, fold at the thigh creases, soften at the knees, come on down, make contact. Half lift, peel up, chin, throat, chest, present your heart to the space in front of you. And with your chest lifted, squat down deeply. Slide your fingertips back towards your toes as much as you can. Take your left leg back, straight leg lunge. If you need to make adjustments, do so. One hand on either side of the front foot flat, front shin vertical. Make sure you have a big, courageous step back with the rear foot. Scissors your legs together, front and back, side to side. Pull your energy up into the deep low belly, pelvis buoyant like a runner at the start of a race. And from your deep low belly, come all the way up this time. As you come into lunge, take just an extra breath or 2 to set the position, set the shape in this more upright position. And now as you bow forward, place your fingertips more into alignment with your heels and your toes and pull the front leg straight, Parsvottanasana variation. Back heel may or may not touch. Push down and away with your fingertips or your hands. Elongate both legs, 1 more breath. And then lift your hips up, glide out, return lunge, raise on up. Fold forward, push down through the hands, push down through the feet, lift the hips up. And back, straighten the legs 1 more time each direction. Move your pelvis forward and backward, gliding it like it's on an elliptical machine. And the next time you're forward in your lunging position, again, if you want to use blocks, bring them with you. Slither yourself to the second side. Pivot on the heels, pivot on the toes, set yourself up and do a skillful lunge here. 1 hand on either side of the front foot flat, front shin vertical. From the soles of your feet, pull up into the core of your pelvis. Pull into your center point strong, come on up. From the center of your pelvis, hit back through the heel. Reach forward through the front inner knee, lift the heart, hold the head high. Bow forward, place your fingertips more towards your heel instead of your toes to help you lift up the hips and press back, Parsvottanasana. Make sure you can feel both big toe mounds, both pinky toe mounds. Maybe not the heel on both feet, but the energy of the heels down. Use your hands for support as well. Rebend into the front knee lunge. Moving forward and backwards, slow, smooth, and controlled. A couple more times. Lift the hips up, glide. Forward lunge. Forward, Parsvottanasana. As you return into your lunge this time, drop the back knee, come into an all-fours position here again. Tuck the toes under, come on up, kneeling stand again, Tadasana. Second round of back bend options. You have where we were before for your 5 breaths. Please use that option if it's best for you. Another option is to sit your hips back onto your heels, place your hands onto the heels themselves, lift up chest, and press up, vertical bridge. Make your entrance into your back bend. Once we're in position, all of our principles remain the same. Press down through the feet and the knees, lift up through the fronts of the thighs, deep low belly, heart to the sky, lift up through the chest to allow any swirling or curling motion to happen towards the space behind you. Wherever you're at, 2 more breaths. And then reverse out exactly the same way you came in. Everybody forward, we'll meet in an all fours position. Take a moment for a cow pose, lift up, tailbone, chest forward, head high. Reverse and round cat. Stretch your shirt across your spine again. Take your time, maybe one or two more here. And return to a neutral all fours position. We're gonna make our way down onto our stomachs. It is everybody's favorite time. You know what time it is? What time is it, Laura? It's belly down back bend time. So, a skillfully executed back bend is one of the healthiest things we can do for our spine. Helps offset a little bit of our sitting and tendencies towards forward posture. So as we set ourselves up, please lift up each leg, turn the thigh and the kneecap down, top of the foot down, toes back. Same thing for the second leg. Open up from the pelvic focal point through the front of the hip sockets, out and long through the legs. Take the same amount of time to lengthen the spine forward. So move skin, move clothes, move muscles or organs out of the way. Reach your sternum forward. Forehead to the floor, hands back. As you feel ready, tone into the pelvic focal point, that place 2 to 3 inches south of your navel. Lift up and add a little tone into that point. And then from that point, you lengthen out through the toes and the top of the head. Raise up armpits, hands, chest, throat, chin, thighs, knees, toes. As you take several breaths here, contract the muscles on the back side of the body to lengthen the front side of the body. Remember to start from the core of the pose, the pelvic focal point. Use your glutes, then your thighs. Allow the knees, calves, ankles, and feet to come along because they're attached. From the navel, lift the heart, the ribs, armpits, shoulder blades, collarbones, neck and head come along as a natural extension of everything else. One more breath in and out here. And then elongate, lengthen down, turn your face to one side. Take a pause for a couple of breaths to the front body and back body equally. All right, let's set up round 2. Lengthen the spine. Options for round 2, hands can go back where we had them before, leading with the armpits to lift, or interlace your fingers, placing them on the back of the skull with your elbows pointing out towards the sides. Elongate again, tone in through the deep low belly at the pelvic focal point, and from there, lift thighs, ankles, feet, ribs, armpits, elbows, head. So this one's a wonderful next progression in terms of challenge. The body loves it. A little bit of an ego blow sometimes. So allow yourself to know that you might not have come as high on this second version if you changed your arm position. That's a pretty natural result. Remember to let go of attachment to the outcome, but keep yourself fully attached and engaged with the process. 2 more breaths. Slowly elongate as you come on down. Turn your face to the other side. Take a couple of breaths of pause at the bottom here again. And then come on back to center. 3rd time's the charm, or 3 strikes, and you're out. Here goes. Arm position number 1, fingertips back. Arm position number 2, hands cradle the head. Arm position number 3, overhead like Superman or Superwoman. Pick where you'd like to go. Bring your attention to the pelvic focal point. Lengthen first, raise up, 5 breaths. If you found somewhere you don't want to be, you can always make a change. Or if you just want to play with how you fly through the air, you can make changes. Ride the wave of your inhales and your exhales 3 more times. And then elongate, come on down. Take just a breath or 2 here at the bottom. Bring your hands alongside your chest, press up to an all fours position. Toes tucked or pointed back, your choice for a moment. And then very, very sweetly reach your tailbone back, heart and head forward, back bend first. And then sweetly reverse position. Reach your spine towards the ceiling. Alternate at your own perfect pace. And just allow this motion not to brush away or dissolve what you just did, but allow you a moment to kind of savor all the sensations that resulted. And as you return back to neutral position this next time, let's come on to our sides. I'm going to move myself around on the mat a little bit so that I can stay facing you the whole time. So as we come into position, I'm going to be laying on my left side. Lay on one side or the other for you, nice and long, and see how much you can line up your head, your heart, your hips, and your heels. This is a little bit of a balance challenge. So if you fall forward or backward, draw into the center column of support and try and hold your midline. From your side lying position, take your top leg, give it a bend, make a figure four shape, right? See if you can bring your ankle above the knee of the bottom leg, foot on the floor, toes touching down, and then just start by taking the top knee and moving it back. A little bit of a hip opener here. And then this top leg, lift it up, knee forward, sweep back, use your balance challenge. Hey, I might even fall over, it's been known to happen. Grab your ankle, toes, heel, some part of your leg, and then scoop in and down to bring the top knee into alignment with the bottom knee. Come into a side lying hip flexor and quadricep stretching position. Kind of a half bow, or Dhanurasana position. All right, and then the best you're able, keep hold of your foot or ankle, let go and reattach as you need to. Here's our transition. Roll onto your stomach. As you roll onto your stomach, reach your knees back, reach your chest forward. This hand that is now available, push it down and away into the space in front of you while you kick up and back. Right? My top hand is pulling into the front of my ankle and foot while my foot kicks away to the wall behind you. Use the power of the hand and the foot resisting into each other to make the spine long, reach the heart forward, hold the head high. 2 more breaths in and out here. And then slowly release. Don't run away from the pose, just release out of it. You can switch to your second side. I'm going to push up and switch directions so I stay facing you. I don't think anybody wants to see me doing that from the back side. So set up your second side. Same thing, head, heart, hips, and heels. You'll know if you're getting a good challenge balanced position if you feel like you might fall forward or backward a little bit. So play with that a little bit. Challenge yourself for positioning. And then once you think you've got a fairly good line for yourself, top leg bend, take the figure four shape first. And then top leg, try not to fall over. Come on up. Whoop, almost went there. Turn the front knee forward, reach back. Make your attachment. Reach the bent knee, my left knee, towards the wall behind you. Hips forward, heart forward. So sometimes when we're in class together and we do this in a standing position, we call it baby, baby, nataraj, right? So if you're familiar with baby, baby, nataraj, it's like he tipped over sideways. Same kind of actions, same kind of efforts. Either that or he's just laying down on the job. Either way, try to keep your attachment to your hand and your foot the best that you can as you transition yourself forward onto the front of your body. Reach your knees back. Reach your navel, chest, and head forward. Use the front hand. You're in charge of where to position it. And then lift up, kick back, resist with the hand, push down and away with the hand that's in front of you. And as your back hand and your foot push into one another, use that to help elongate the spine. Reach the heart forward, broaden the collarbones, open all 4 lines of the neck, and hold your head high. Breathe in and out here. Maybe 3 more times. We'll try to approximate length from the first side. And then slowly release. Hand and foot, spine down, come to center. And we'll finish with the final flourish of putting it all together if you'd like. So bend the knees, reach them back, open up the fronts of the thigh creases, hip bones into the floor, deep low belly, pelvic focal point toned. Reach the sternum and the chest forward. Maybe find a little bit of a cobra lift. This is actually an amazing place to stay, right? So if you like this, no need to go forward. If you do want to, one hand to foot, join them up. Elongate the spine first. Reach your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Reach your sternum forward towards the space in front of you. Use the resistance of your hands and your feet onto each other to keep elongating the spine to lift up thighs to knees, knees to ankles, ankles to toes, navel to heart, heart to armpits, armpits to collarbones, neck and head, a natural extension of everything else. Take a few more breaths in and out here. You might even rock a little bit. And then slow motion, release down, elongate the front body as you make your descent. Pause at the bottom for a breath or two. And then you're going to make a choice to move into your pause position of preference. It might be staying right here for another 5 or 6 breaths. You might come up to a child's pose, a down dog, a kneeling. Wherever you're at, let yourself take a moment to absorb, integrate the benefits of your effort so far before moving on. Take another breath or two in the space you occupy at this moment. And then make your way into a comfortable seated position. You can face whichever direction you'd like. I'm going to try and keep facing you. So as you come towards a Dandasana type position, arrange sitting bones, arrange the fleshy parts of the backs of the thighs down through the backs of the calves, feet forward, so sitting tall and at attention just like you would if you were standing in Tadasana. Keep your left leg forward, bend your right leg in, somewhere along the inner thigh, point it out to the side. This is your half Baddha Konasana leg. Lift up long, lift up tall, plug the sitting bones down into the floor and elongate the spine, so reach forward through your navel first. Maybe find a point in front of you that you're gazing at, and then as you lengthen the spine, begrudgingly let go of that vision in front of you and send the crown of your head there instead. Hold on to your calf, ankle, foot, again, wherever you're blessed to reach. Take several breaths here and use the resistance of your hands pulling in on your leg from the sole of the foot up into the pelvic focal point. And then from your pelvis, lengthen out from the bones of your legs into your hands, radiate out. From the bones to the muscles to the skin, skin to the space around you. Keep lengthening your navel towards your kneecap, chin towards your shins, crown of the head to the space beyond your feet. As you take 3 or 4 more breaths here, start to turn the attention to the inner form of the pose as well as the outer form of the pose. Right? If you were your breath, what does your posture look like from the inside out right now? Front body, back body, side bodies. And then slowly raise the head. Raise the chest, rebuild to come up to a vertical spinal position. Let's take the bent knee, raise it up in front, give it a crisscross over. Bottom leg can stay straight or you can flip it over. Yogi's choice. Point the raised kneecap to the sky, lift up nice and tall. As you take, opposite arm up overhead. Slide your navel through, hug your shin or hook your elbow. Take your second hand back behind you as a second spine of support. And visualize your spine like a spiral staircase. Start at the bottom of the steps and work vertebra by vertebra through the low back, mid back, upper back, neck and head to the top. As you hold your position, and maybe just refine it subtly but significantly to the inflows and outflows of your breath. Roll more through the deep low belly, move the skin or maybe any muscles along. Roll more through the ribs, from the bottom ribs up towards the top ribs. Send your gaze towards or beyond the back shoulder. And then slowly from the top of the staircase, unwind, vertebra by vertebra, come on back down to center starting position where we'll meet in Dandasana. Again, allow the effects of the pose to settle, to kind of take hold in between sides as you come through Dandasana. Reshift, rearrange, resettle into the groundedness of all the parts of your body that are making contact with the floor right now. Second side, we'll start first by turning outward. Right? Lift up, lengthen, low back in and up, chest tall, head high. Draw the deep low belly in, and as you reach forward, again, use your arms to help you, but draw your navel towards your kneecap, chin towards your shin. Then tip the crown of the head to reach the top of the head out beyond the foot. As you're setting your position up, keep in mind that this pose is the entire back side of the body lengthening as you curl into the comfort of the entire front side of your body. It's not just hamstrings. So create some resistance, like you're trying to make your legs shorter, wherever your hands are holding on. And then from your deep low belly, push out and elongate into that resistance. So that as we hold our position, it's an active elongation from the center of us, the core of us, out to the periphery. And then raise the head, raise the chest, come on up, rebuild to a vertical spine. Bent knee, raise it up, give it a crisscross over, kneecap towards the sky. Stay plugged into the bottom leg. Remember, everything touching the floor is a part of your foundation. From those points of foundation, lift up long and tall. Opposite arm raises up, same spiral staircase, opposite direction. Hug the shin or hook the elbow. Give yourself some more support behind. And as you move your abdomen faster than your ribs and your ribs faster than your face, come into position. Start from the low back into the mid back, the upper back, neck and head. Continue to let your breath help you to finesse your position. Right? So as your tailbone tacks down, crown of the head reaches up, visualize your spine like the never-ending blue and red stripes on a barbershop pole. And then from the crown of the head, walk back down, unwind, savor every part of the unwinding as you return back to center position. All right, from sitting, draw both heels in. I'm going to turn sideways. I think it's a better angle for Baddha Konasana. So as you bring the soles of your feet towards each other, maybe about a foot distance away from the pelvic floor, a little closer, a little farther. Feet touching, knees out and down. As you hold on to your shins, your ankles, or your feet, lift in and up through the low back. Right? So tip the pelvis forward slightly so you feel your sitting bones. You feel the effort of your low back and your sacrum lifting in and up. Tall posture from there. Maintaining that, knees go out and down. Imagine there's magnets on your knees and the floor is made of steel. Keeping those alignments in mind, lead with the navel and invite your navel into the diamond shape of the legs first. You can press your elbows on the legs if it's available, or move your elbows in front of your shins depending on your body and shape architecture. And then keep elongating the spine. Lead with the chin beyond the toes, gaze beyond the toes. Reach the crown of your head towards the space in front of you more than down towards the floor. Stay steady in connection with the ground. It might be your feet, maybe your sitting bones, the flesh of the buttocks. And from those points of connection, root down. Low back lifts in and up. Knees go out and down as the hips come into external rotation. Hinge forward at your thigh creases. Elongate the spine, and then just let the subtlest bits of rounding come into the upper back, the nape of the neck, back of the skull, top of the head. Reach the crown of the head forward, come on up to sitting position. Draw the knees back up. All right. And let's make our way down onto the floor. So as you're ready, come on down. Head back, shoulders back, hips down, bent knee position. Let's finish up with one final twist before we make ourselves entirely ready for Shavasana. So from position here, raise your hips up 1 to 2 inches, shift them to the right, land them down so your spine feels crooked for just a moment, and cross now your right leg tightly over your left. Slide your right arm out to the side like a wing or a field goal post so that your right shoulder blade and your armpit become a part of your foundation. Left arm can also go out to the side or anywhere it feels safe and comfortable. Your shoulder girdle is now a part of your foundation. Stay tacked back through the right armpit as you twist your legs in the opposite direction, making nice, deep, full diagonal lines from your right armpit through the rib cage through abdomen, reaching towards the right inner knee, moving in the opposite direction. Keep the head back, the shoulders back. Take some breaths into the rotation of the ribs, of the abdomen, into the low back, maybe in some of the opening across the posterior part of the body into the glutes, the outer hips, down the outer lines of the top leg. And then drawing the legs back up together, unwind the legs and realign the spine. And from our center point position, second side, lift up the hips, give them a shift to the left so that the spine feels a little bit crooked for a moment as you come back down. Left leg now takes its turn to wrap tightly over the top. Plug from your left armpit through your left shoulder blade to make that back part of your upper body a part of your foundation. And from that point of foundation, twist. So twists in their fullest form have some effect on much, much more of the torso than just the low back. Work into the ribs, work into the side bodies, work into the waistlines, and all the way down towards the pelvis. So as you take your legs into place in space, you might even start to rotate your navel in the opposite direction. As you hold your legs in space, reach a little bit more through the left lung, through the left collarbone. Make the twist work from the top of the pose to the bottom pose and bottom of the pose to the top. And then come on out, bring the legs up, unwind the legs, and realign the spine. From your bent knee position, lengthen each leg out onto the floor. Take the arms into an overhead space, reach fully or hold your elbows. Start to lengthen everything out, maybe a little bit of a shimmy along the ground into a nice full body stretch. And then from here, elongate even more. Let's take 3 full breaths all together. On your first inhale, lengthen from your tailbone to the top of your head. Release just a little bit on the exhale. On your next breath in, lengthen the spine, add in the legs and feet, arms and hands. And release just a little bit again on the out breath. Last breath in and out together, full body stretch, tip to tail. And exhale. All the air out. See if there's any fidgeting, any final wiggles or adjustments, movements that your body is yet craving. And then as you satisfy those cravings, come into a comfortable position for a few minutes today of Shavasana. As we settle into space together, I'll time us out for a few minutes. If you'd like to completely release and relax for a few minutes here and not worry about losing track of time, I'll call us back and finish practice in a few moments. So as you settle in, let the floor take over more of the work of holding your body up. Let go of control over the body itself and the breath a little bit. And allow yourself these moments to absorb the benefits of your efforts. And then take another moment in the space you occupy to just begin to bring your attention back to your body and to your breath with gradually increasing intensity. Bring some movement into the body as you feel ready. Eventually bending in your knees, rolling over to one side to pause there. And please take a moment here to thank yourself, at least as much as I thank you, for very intentionally carving out this time in your day today, for the health of your bodies, the health of your minds. And again, as you feel ready, press yourself up to a seated position where we'll all meet together with our spine tall, head held high. And we'll finish with another full breath in all together, turning the biceps out a little bit and the palms up. Use your next breath in to sweep the arms out and wide to meet the palms overhead. Exhaling to draw your hands down through the midline, resting your hands at the center of the chest or in your lap if that's more comfortable. And taking just a final moment here to recognize that space that takes up residency at the base of the heart, where each of our individual lights reside and the common light that joins us all. And so may each of us be the brightest lights possible for ourselves and for everyone and everything else around us as we finish up what's left of our day today. To each of you, I bow. Namaste.